excited because it's a new episode. I'm always all for something new, something fresh. And this week, on this week's episode, I'm going to talk to you about mood boosters. What I do when I'm down. Here we go. Mood booster number 1. Turn up the music and so I think that's Chris Brown's song. But music does something to me. It makes me come alive. It has to be a particular music. I can have music to wind me down, to make me chill, to put me in a space where I feel like I need to pray. So a mood booster for me is usually like Maroon 5. I will go in. Whatever music it is, if it is pop, it could be some 90s music. If you turn on Biggie, like the whole bad boy era, like 90s kind of thing, I'm all into it. And it's not just the up-tempo music that I need. It could be just a good hit. Here are some 90s hits, some songs that will send me like totally up. Ice Cube, Today Was a Good Day. Boom, 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 boom. That's my song. And then after Ice Cube, I'm all into, so I'm like one of those people that loves God and trap music and pop. Like, I really love all kinds of music. I'm very particular though about guarding my spirit and making sure I do have a filter and not just letting everything into my space. But I think there's actually a certain kind of therapy that does involve music, which there is, because I know some people that actually teach on it, and I know some people that have gone to like rehab and have had sessions with music. So, and then not just that, but I mean, think about like, I think it's in 2nd Chronicles where God talked about how he revealed himself and he like prophesied through music, through the musicians. So it just goes to show how music can really have like a powerful way into people's lives, how it affects them. And that's another reason of why we need to guard what we're listening to, making sure, like the other day I was in Zumba and they were playing this song, like they play all of my jams and then they started playing this song. He was like, and I was just like, whoa, what is going on? And I started listening to what they were saying, and they were saying something about hell, and I was just like, oh no, I can't let this in my spirit. So I literally stopped dancing and I walked out of that room, because I am very particular about what you allow into your ear gates. If you're not paying attention to it in that moment, then you're allowing it to live in your subconscious. So I'm very particular about that. However, when I want to get my mood up, certain kind of music, I'll just say that, can take you mentally to a beach. It can take you to a family barbecue. It can take you to the altar and the cathedral. Prime example, summertime. I immediately think like, oh yeah, you know, everybody coming around a barbecue, blah, 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 blah. You have a good time. So mentally, I'm in this summertime kind of like space. And then one of my favorites is the Winans. What's the song, Jay? What's the song we love?
Count It All Joy.
Count it all joy. That takes me in. And then I love Aaliyah's Rock the Boat. So then if you bring it up to date, you got pop. You got Katy Perry's Dance to the Rhythm. I love that song. That's not the title of the song, but that's one of them. It's a few other songs. So that's what I do to boost my mood. And sometimes some of the songs will bring back memories. It may even pull up some memories that don't need to be pulled up. So it, depending on the space that I'm in spiritually, or if I'm trying to let something go, then obviously I would turn these things off. Just knowing myself, and that's how I boost my mood. Like literally, I'm sure a lot of us have conversations with our friends and we'll be like, remember this song, remember that song, and it literally can change the mood of your conversation, the space that you're in that moment, because it just brings fun times back. So that's one of my mood boosters. Turn up the music, baby. Mood booster is literally shaking it off. You remember how the kids used to be like, ugh, like you have to have that moment. Like though we're adults, sometimes we have to have this childlike moment, and you'll find yourself actually laughing at yourself and finding that kid in you again. Sometimes some of us are so busy trying to play grown up to where we never even had a chance to be a child. And so it can become overwhelming. So you have to shift your mood, do whatever you can. And sometimes that literally is you getting up and saying, you know what, I'm gonna shake this off, and actually showing it with your physical action. Like, I'm gonna make a physical expression of showing that I want this off of me. And when you shake that off physically, your mind and everything else around you has to obey what you're commanding your atmosphere to do. And so you literally shake it off, and you have this moment of where you say, I'm not gonna let this bother me. Sometimes you have to start dancing. Like one time I was standing in my living room and I was all by myself, and I just started doing the Harlem Shake, like, you know, just shaking it off. And I started laughing at myself, because how dumb do you look? Like if someone was peeking in and you saw like an ant or on the wall, like if you were an ant on the wall or something, how dumb would you have thought of me? So I think that's another thing that we have to do, is to literally shake it off, and don't stay in this stupor. Like, don't stay in a depressed state. Don't stay in this space where it's like, I just want to sit down and slump and just eat and just be, you know, like, get out of that space. Sometimes it's literally you walking out of a room. Like, whatever you need to do to boost your mood, because you never want to cause yourself to be in a space that's knocking you out of purpose. So shake it off. That's it. That's simple. And I'm trying to make it deeper than what it is, but it's that simple. Shake it off. As a creative, as an artist, I'm often surrounded by people. So it's a big thing for me to make sure that I'm around people with good vibes. Like, I know we've been encouraging good vibes, high vibes, this, that, blah, 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 blah. That's a big thing for me, and it is one of my mood boosters. I have to be around good people. If you're not a solid individual, not just a solid individual, but that has a lot to do with it. Like, I have to feel safe. If I don't feel safe, then I have some questions, and it's kind of like all in my mind and my subconscious. So I'm asking questions. Am I safe to say this? Am I safe to say that? And then it's kind of causing me to even have myself in the question sometimes, to even see, am I okay to be myself 100% in this space or around these people? So a safe haven, number one. But not only that, I have a strong issue with people who are up and down. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you can't be human and have this time of where you're not having a good day. We'll all have bad days. Obviously, that's a part of the human nature. But one big thing for me is, if you always up and down, I can't do it. It's just, it's stressful. It drains you, because you got to figure out what's wrong. Got to figure out, am I saying the wrong thing? So a mood booster for me is having fun people around. Like, can we laugh at the same thing at least 2 times today? I like to have fun, and I like to have good conversation. So having the right people around that can make me laugh, that can push me out of my state of depression or my state of anxiety, or who can call to the carpet, this is not you. This is not the space that you're usually in. This is not the space that is a good contribution towards your purpose or your relationship with the Lord. You want somebody that can pull you up out of that, because sometimes you can't be the strong one for yourself. And so people do contribute to my mood booster. So who are you around? Ask yourself, do I have the right people around me who can boost my mood, who can boost me into this next level of creativity or into this next level of geniusness? I think that has to do with whether or not you're the smartest person in the room, and you should not be. You should have other geniuses around you. So for me, a mood booster definitely is people. Yeah. The last mood booster. Y'all already know I was gonna say this one, but you gotta pray. Sometimes when I'm praying and I'm praying aloud, I'll just be talking to God and just kicking it with him. Like, Lord, look, I need you to give me some answers, because I'm not figuring this thing out. I don't know what's happening. You know, sometimes we think we have to do the formal way of prayer, which is great. I think it is, you know, being in that position, it humbles us mentally and in action. But sometimes it's cool to just walk and say, you know what, God, I need you to tell me something. I need you to shake me up out of this, because I've been in this space for too long and I'm ready to be out of it. Show me what's the root of it. Like, show me the reason why I keep getting back to this place, and just lay it down. That's what it is. That's another mood booster. Is I lay it down. Here it is. I'm releasing this thing to you, and it already becomes lighter. Once you give it to him, that's a weight that you just don't even have to carry no more. But you have to trust him with it. And so that's one thing that is a big deal for me, because it can be hard to be like, you know what, God, what you gonna do with this if I give it to you? But he is God. He is the creator of all, and we have to trust that he knows exactly what to do with it. So that's a mood booster for me. And sometimes that's easier said than done, but do we really try it? Like, what are we holding on to from years, you know, and it's just like piling up? What things are we, maybe we've lost a loved one and we're literally sitting in that same room that maybe that person used to stay in all the time. We're staying in these places, and life is still going on. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a time to mourn or grieve. You should, because the word of God says that we're supposed to mourn with those who mourn and all of that. But at some point you have to move forward. The word of God says that we are to redeem time. We're supposed to buy that time back, and we just have to keep moving. So lay it down. Those are the mood boosters. What were the mood boosters? Mood booster number one was turn up the music. You know, I was thinking on the way, another mood booster for me is really churchy choir music, like Hezekiah Walker songs and Donald Lawrence songs. I'm gonna be caught up in the rapture. Yes, where I can clap loud, and I am adjusting my hair. That's awful. And then who is I will go and G. So these songs take me back to when I was a kid. So maybe church music is, or church choir music is not the thing for you, but those songs take me back to when I was a child, when I was innocent. I'm still innocent, but when I had moments of just not even having to think of all of the things that I currently have to think of. But that was mood booster number one, and that was turn up the music. And then the other one was shake it off. Shake, shake. What was the dun, 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 dun. Y'all remember the Bad Boy song anyway. And then the other one was so we said shake it off, and the other one was people. Who do you have around you? What vibe are you walking with? Like, listen, Jesus, great example of why you gotta mood boosters. There you go, right here. Remember when Jesus was like, I gotta do this, I gotta be about my Father's business, and Peter was like, no, you can't go do that, like you can't, that's not it, or we ready to scrap it out. Like, Peter was just always ready to scrap it out. And Jesus was like, get behind me, Satan. To me, right there, he didn't call Peter by his name. He called Peter by what was using him. And that was a spiritual effect in that moment. So who are we walking with in our moments, and it's causing us to be in a different space or be in a different mood? And as long as you're walking in purpose, as long as you have breath in your body, there's always an assignment for you to do. So you have to make the decision to call those things out and be like, this is what's affecting the situation right now, and we're going to have to move you back here, you know. And some people may say, oh, you sadiddy or you stuck up, but they'll get over it. People get over stuff all the time. I mean, we just get over stuff. But that is another thing that we have to remember. So we said people, and then not just that, but to just kind of close it all off, the questions that I have here is why it's important to be in a good space. It's important to be in a good space so that you're walking with a clear conscience. And the scripture that I have for that is Acts 24:16. And it says, so I strive always to keep a conscience clear before God and man. To me, that has a lot to do with a booster, with our mood, I mean. And then not just that, but why is it important to have these mood boosters? We already talked about that. So that you aren't being held hostage, or not moving forward, or doing the things that God has called you to do, or just being in your happy place. A lot of us are stuck in a state of depression, and a lot of people end up committing suicide because they don't know how to get out of this bad or dark space. So that's another thing. But don't hold on to bad things. And then not just that, the reason you want these mood boosters, or you may need these mood boosters, and these may not be your mood boosters. That was a lot of mood boosters. But these may not be your particular boosters, but I'm hoping to inspire you or to empower you to find out what it is. Figure out what it is that will knock you back into the game, or that will, you know, kick you back into the game. Say, you know, I'm here to change the game, and I'm about to do what I need to do to play my part in this kingdom business. And so I hope you're inspired to do that, but you want to have clear decisions too. A lot of people don't know how to identify their boosters, so they're easily affected by maybe what's at home. So they make bad decisions, when it comes to their career, and it's because they're emotionally in a place. And I just pray to God every day that I am surrounded by the right people, that I'm making the right decisions, that I'm doing the will of the Lord, because I never want to look back by responding to something emotionally or trying to, you know, be so fast and just be like, I want to do it my way, and then I look back like 5 years later and it's like, that's what I have for you. God is saying that to me. I don't want that to be my story. So this is another reason why we need to make sure we're not stuck in the moment, but we're thinking about the future, you know, and we're not making temporary decisions, but we're making futuristic decisions. So that was something my dad taught me too, by the way. I hope you're inspired to identify your mood boosters, and if you can't identify them, try mine. Mwah. Love y'all. Thank you for tuning in to Catching Kierra, and make sure you stay tuned. Tell somebody to subscribe if you think they need this information or if you think they can be empowered. Love y'all. Leave some comments below and I'm talking to you. And oh, check out my blog, of course, because some of these videos, a lot of these videos are inspired by my blog, and eventually I'll come out with a book or something. All right, love you guys. Mwah.